Okay, so I don't know why, but cheating is one thing you never do. Like, don't get me wrong. Back when I was in high school, cheating is something that was very common. No joke, the amount of times I've heard people say, oh, like, I cheated and I still passed and it was all okay. And let's just say back when I was in high school, there was one time where I cheated and the teacher actually ended up helping me do this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another crazy but super embarrassing story. This story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was during my grade 9 year. Now, grade 9, I won't lie to you. I was a simple guy, but I wasn't good at school. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean, I wasn't good at really the basic education system that we have nowadays. Like, don't get me wrong. School, I feel like, is totally worth it. It's really good. As for college, well, it's definitely a scam depending on what future you want to go into. But I remember back when I was in high school in my grade 9 year, there was a grade 9 unit that we had to learn, and it was basic geometry. What do I mean by this? Well, I don't know if you guys remember back in school, you had like these triangles. You had to tell which one's an acute triangle, an obtuse triangle, you know, which one was perfectly 9 degrees, and a bunch of stuff with shapes, except there was math involved. And me, back when I was in high school, especially in grade 9, I hated it. No joke, I remember always complaining to my teacher how I didn't understand anything, how I didn't understand, you know, what was the difference, why does it matter if one's obtuse and one's not, they're both triangles at the end of the day, you know, like, it was really frustrating. And I remember as the weeks went on of learning from this unit, it got to the point where I kind of just full on gave up on it. What do I mean by this? Well, I think all of us in school has had this moment where basically we would give up on what we're doing. Either it's giving up on a specific type of homework, giving up on trying to do something that you've always wanted to do, and just being doomer about it. There was many moments where I've done this in high school, and I remember there was one specific time where I actually ended up laying in my bed for 24 hours and not leaving it just because I couldn't know how to beat a specific mission in a video game. But for this math, let's just say I gave up on it weeks ago, and knowing that 2 weeks later we had a math test that our teacher announced was the scariest thing ever. Because I remember there was a week before our math test, and our teacher walks up in front of the classroom and says, okay, class, so next week is your trigonometry homework and also your test, so make sure you guys are able to keep up. And I remember when she said the word test, everyone in the classroom kind of like just went frozen and kind of just got scared. I don't blame them. It's very normal for that to happen. But for me, I was really worried because I gave up. Like, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't care. I don't want to learn about this. So knowing that there was a test coming up and that it was worth a decent amount of my grade, and knowing that I had strict parents as well that would probably end up beating me with a chancla if I end up, you know, not passing this test, really scared me. By the way, I don't know why I said chancla. I meant sandal. I'm actually Persian. I don't know why I'm saying words like that. I'm not even Spanish, but going on. Knowing this, I ended up basically like, you know, stressing out throughout the next 2 days. I was literally stressing out to a point where I kind of ended up trying to force myself to learn, but I couldn't do it. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, why don't you just go on, you know, the internet and just watch tutorials like every other person does? The only reason I would use the internet back then was to either watch some Devil's Hub or to learn things on video games, or even just play video games. I would never, and I mean ever, use the internet for anything educational until after high school when I ended up learning how to make videos, but not the point. But after 8 hours of staring at this piece of paper that was my homework to basically teach me how to do the trigonometry homework, I ended up deciding to do the one thing that most students never really realized they can do, but ended up doing it. And that was looking at the back of the textbook. Yeah. Magical thing, but basically to do all my homework instantly, I ended up just basically going to the back of the textbook where all the answers were. There was an answer key back there that I used for basically, well, most of my high school years, basically since I learned it in grade 9, but it was the most powerful thing ever. I remember basically just writing down the answers and just, you know, skimming through the homework thinking that maybe it'll help me understand it better if I did it that way. No, it didn't. It didn't help me at all. If anything, it made me more dumb because I remember on the day of the test, I was literally having a panic attack. No joke. I remember 2 classes before, like, you know, the test actually started, I was asking so many different people to basically see if they can run me down like how to do the homework and stuff, and no one could legit help me. It got to the point where I was just debating on skipping the class, and honestly, when the bell rang to get to that math class, I won't lie to you, I skipped. By the way, don't do anything I'd say in these videos. I'm just gonna say that right now. Don't do any of it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time. It does not make you a better person at all. If anything, these are just trauma dumping from my crazy experiences. This whole channel is just a trauma dump. But yeah, knowing this, I basically ended up skipping class that day, and I hid in the bathroom. I sat in the bathroom watching YouTube videos from my favorite YouTubers back then when I was a kid, like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, PewDiePie, you know, the big 3 as we would call them back then. And then afterwards, right as the bell rings for class to end, I remember I ended up coming out of the bathroom, walking down the hallway, and guess who I run into? My teacher. My teacher ends up looking at me. He's like, oh, hey, Bubba, why weren't you in class today? You know, I was sick, but then I got better, so I came in. Bubba, that makes no sense. You were in all your other classes classes, but this one, make it make sense. Honestly, I just wasn't feeling up to it, is what I told her. And she still got upset to the point where she said, okay, Baba, after school today, me and you are going to be going to the classroom and you're going to do this test. Great. Sounds awesome, is what I said to her. And knowing that I basically ended up, you know, getting caught and having to do the test after school made things a lot worse. So throughout the entire rest of the school day, after going to the rest of my classes and stressing out about this test, I finally, and I mean finally, ended up doing something amazing. Oh, you guys thought I did the test? No, I literally just ended up leaving and went straight home. My gut told me that I should go inside that classroom and just do the homework and not be a wimp. But at the same time, like, I don't know what it is about tests, but they always scare me. Still to this day, it scares me. Anytime someone tells me, oh, there's a test we should do, or, you know, even just doing a color test or an IQ test, it terrifies me because I don't want to know what my results are. If anything, I just want to yap on the internet and trauma dump. Like, it's just that far gone when it comes to me doing tests. Anyways, from there, I remember I ended up basically going home, and when I sat down at my desk, I felt really bad because I knew my teacher was gonna probably be in there waiting for me. But I ended up just hopping on Call of Duty and just said every cuss word in the book just to play video games on and kind of get my mind off things and search and destroy. But then my mom comes into my room. My mom comes into my room and basically ends up turning off my Xbox and says, your teacher just called me. Did you skip your test? No, mom, I wasn't feeling well. And then like I went in there and, you know, like I don't know, must have been a mistake or something. No, Baba, she's on the phone with me right now. I should have realized this because her phone was literally up against to her ear, but I ended up basically like grabbing the phone and it was my teacher. And my teacher's like, Baba, why didn't you come into the classroom today? You have a test to do. Yeah, sorry. I just, you know, I wasn't really feeling up for it. Baba, tomorrow, come early to school. I promise you this test will be super easy. Is that a bug? Is that a bug on my, what the flip? Oh my God, that's the mosquito that's been biting me. Okay, wait, I gotta get rid of this real quick. That's it, buddy. You're done for. You're done for. Oh, now you're scared, huh? Now you're scared? Now you're scared? Come on. Gotcha, bitch. You dead. You so dead. Let me stop you again. That's right. You got bit on. Sorry, got distracted with the bug, but we're back and we're just gonna finish the storyline up, okay? I know you guys want the end. I apologize. Here's the ending. Knowing that my teacher wanted me for the next day early in class, I ended up agreeing with her, and honestly, I decided to basically make up this whole speech and going to the classroom saying I can't do this test because I don't know how to do this test, and I basically gave up weeks ago. But then the next day came, and I got ready, I got dressed. My mom made sure that I got to school early and walked me literally to the classroom. I literally remember my mom telling me, you do this test and you will pass. Just don't panic. It's crazy when you tell someone not to panic, but you're still panicking. I don't know. It was really stressful. And when I walked in there, I remember my teacher walks up to me and she's like, Baba, why'd you skip? Like, come on, we gotta talk about this. I'm sorry. I just couldn't do the test. It's just, you know, I was scared. And honestly, I don't know how to do any of it. When she saw that I was basically almost on the verge of tears of me feeling stupid, I guess, she ended up basically giving me the answer key. And she basically ended up sitting down next to me and walked me through it. And after we did the entire test, she ends up looking at me and saying, do you understand it? Yeah. I actually do kind of now, is what I told her, even though I kind of didn't, but just wanted to basically agree with her so we had like a good happy ending. And then that's when she ended up putting her hand up against my thigh. And yeah, let's just say this test that she helped me pass and basically gave me the answers for led to a lot more, but we'll save that for another story. But if you guys enjoyed the story, click on one of the videos on screen right now and follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.